Hello everyone and welcome to my video for week 6. Now saying that makes me feel like whoa, week 6 already, time is passing really quickly, but I am just having the most amazing time teaching you in year 3. It's been fantastic. Now last week, for anyone who guessed that I was in Venice, correct, I was in Venice. Such an amazing place and I loved all of the facts that you wrote below. I particularly loved it when I read that people were having to go and research the location and they were using some skills to look up on Google where I was. So that was fantastic. Now here we are in week 6. I'm in a new location. Again, I have left Australia and I have gone to a very famous location somewhere overseas. Now I'm just going to move across so you can have a little look behind me. And I'll just shuffle across so I can tell you a little bit about this place. Now this is a very beautiful part of the world and I was lucky enough to go and visit this place last year in the July school holidays. I actually went across and did a little bit of teaching over there with some of the teachers from our very own school. So first of all, I'll show you a picture. There I am at this location and you can probably see the difference in the weather. I was there when it was hot and it was cloudy and it was so humid. The one that I have behind me today is beautiful blue skies. That is not one I saw when I was there, but that's okay. Now, the first lot of teachers you might recognise are, so there's Mrs. Shaw and Miss Lillington and Mrs. Smith. So we all travelled over together. And a fact about this place is that you might be able to see in this picture with Mrs. Smith that you have to wear protective covering over your shoes because so many visitors pass through this area and it's made of a very precious material that their shoes can actually start to erode the parts on the floor, and it's all very precious. So you have to slip these little booties over your shoes, and that's how you protect this space when you're there. So I thought that was a really cool thing that we had to do. And one more thing, this is Mrs. Smith and I when we were teaching. This is the school we were teaching at over in this location. So if you think you might know where I am, comment below. And as always, I'd love any facts that you might be able to think of about this really beautiful area. Now today, we all brought in our runny sheets and it was fantastic to set it up so that we could all share about what we'd melted at home. Now I was super impressed with the range of things that came in. People had been melting metal. People had been melting cheese and chocolate and ice cream and butter, and it was so good to see. The thing I was impressed with the most was seeing people get together and share ideas and really listen to each other. I think that was the most exciting thing I saw in our session today, was the listening and the interest from all the kids. Now, things are about to get really exciting in 3G. As you know, we're already getting really good at writing narratives, and we've been using our karate belts to tick off goals and progress our writing forward and make sure that we're always setting ourselves goals before we start and then giving myself, Ms. Grensel, evidence of how you've met those goals. Well, we are about to all work towards making our own narratives, publishing them, creating them into some type of book. It might be an e-book, it might be a book made out of paper. And then we're going to set up our own class library, and we're going to invite some different people in to come and view our class library. So we might actually ask people like Mr. Burgess to come in, Mrs. Shaw, Mrs. Post. We'll get a range of people to come into the 3G library and have a look at the stories. Now to be able to do that, we need to write stories that are really interesting, like we've been talking about in the classroom, stories that hook the reader in and get them reading our texts. So what we're going to do this week is, you've got a sheet in your homework folder that's called Narrative Brainstorm Ideas. Now, it's a fact that when people are writing stories, the best ideas that they have are usually not the first ideas that they have. So when you're thinking about a topic, the first thing that you think of is usually the first thing that a lot of people think of. So it's one that is easy to think of and lots of people think of it. It's probably not the best idea. To get the really good ideas, great story writers often spend quite a bit of time writing down their ideas and developing them and coming up with new ideas so that their story is interesting and unique. So this week you're going to give it a go. You're going to pick a topic either from the list at the top, or you can come up with your own. And then underneath, you're going to come up with 5 different stories that you might be able to write that cover that topic idea. Now, if you're a little bit confused, I'm going to put an example of the finished sheet below so you can see what it should look like. But this is an example that I'll share with you right now. So you might pick the topic free. And some of your ideas for a story might be free. The day that the canteen gave away free food. Another topic idea underneath might be the day that I escaped from jail. I was free. As you can see, you can come up with lots of different ideas that cover that same topic. So the more you think, the more creative your ideas get, and the better your story is going to be in the end. So when we bring them in next Friday, we're going to go into the computer room and go into Google Classroom, and we're going to collate all our ideas into one big document, and then we're all going to get a copy of the document, so when we go to write our stories the following week, we can look through everybody's ideas and get some really, really great stories happening. After you've thought of 5 ideas that cover the same topic, underneath I want you to brainstorm some different characters that could be in your story. And then the last thing I want you to do is think about, who are you writing this story for? Because every story, every text has an audience. And when we're writing our text, we keep that audience in mind to make sure that we're really tailoring what we're doing to those specific people. So you have a think about who your audience is going to be, and we'll go from there. So just keep in mind that we will invite some teachers in and some different kids in to come and view our 3G library. But you might also like to choose your family as your audience. So you might like to write and publish and create a really awesome book so you can take it home and read it together as a family. Or maybe you have a younger cousin. Or maybe you have an older cousin. Or maybe you have an auntie or an uncle or a grandma, and they might be your intended audience for your text. So if you have any questions, please email me, because I know it sounds a little confusing, but like I said, I'll put a finished copy of the sheet underneath this video so you can see what it would look like. And I'm really excited to see what your creative brains come up with. So you have a fantastic week. Get going with all those amazing ideas, and I'll see you very soon.